I want to follow up on my prior two colleagues earlier who talked about the local coverage, by the state police. So you can see it's a big issue. And for me personally, my district split, meaning I have a large part of my district is covered by township police, and there's a significant portion, at least landmass-wise, it's covered by the state police. And in your testimony that you provided to me, that you said in 2018, 7 municipal police departments changed from full or part-time coverage to relying on the state police for its full-time police services. And my questions are more, maybe not specifically number-driven as much as just theory. Are municipalities required to report their intentions to disband their local law enforcement coverage and request the Pennsylvania State Police to cover their municipality full-time? How would that work?
Go ahead.
Sir, we have a procedure that's adopted. It's that the community, if they're looking to discontinue their services, advise us in writing and give us a projected date when they will stop services. We'd like to get that as far in advance as possible so that we can get in with that department, take a hard look at what happens in that community so that when we absorb it, we're ready and prepared and have knowledge of what's going on there. One of the things we face going forward, traditionally, we get very short notice lately. One of the best examples I can give you is the East Pittsburgh Police Department out in the western portion of the state. In grand total, we had talked about them discontinuing their services for about a month and a half. When they actually pulled the trigger, if you will, and discontinued services, we had a 4-day warning.
Wow.
That presents us with a very dynamic problem of shuffling people into that service area. And again, we have ongoing investigations that are done by that department. There's considerations as far as evidence storage. We've been working very cooperatively with the district attorney's office out in that area, and we made that transition as smoothly. But
there is a procedure in place to do so. Great. I know I have only limited time. A couple other quick questions. Do you have an idea, or maybe you know, how many municipalities have done so to date? How many have disbanded and reached out to you saying, hey, we'd like you to cover our area?
In 2018, as an example, 5 different departments.
And then how about
terminated or regionalized?
How about in 17 or 16? It's probably been ongoing for a number of years now.
It has, sir,
21 since 2014.
21 in total for the past 3 years?
Since 2014.
Since 2014. Do you, and you probably have this data, you might not have it at your fingertips, but what is the number of municipalities, and we have a lot here in the Commonwealth, just the way we're set up, for which you provide full or part-time enforcement coverage currently?
1,297 that we provide full-time police services for, sir.
Is that about 50% or?
Roughly a little bit.
I think it would be about 50% if I kind of have an idea how many municipalities we have. And then I want to follow up maybe on what Representative Keller had mentioned about, and maybe you can provide some details specifically to what kinds and the number of municipal calls troopers typically need to respond. And then he had kind of mentioned this too. Do you have a breakdown? Do you break that down then between municipalities that actually have their own law enforcement and those that don't? And that kind of got into what he was saying, where we're trying to get our hands around this to try to come out. If we're going to do an allocation, what do you do, or the easiest way to do it?
I think we would have to move forward on quantifying those numbers. The problem for us lies in that we have, for lack of a better term, jurisdictional responsibilities throughout the Commonwealth. Traditionally, we haven't really drilled down into full-time, part-time calls for service. And there's another component there. We could have a full-time department for some reason, whether investigative or some other issue, isn't able to fulfill their service coverage throughout a weekend or a few nights or a period of time, where we have to step up by state law and work in that community while they resolve that issue. So while we do drill it down to municipalities, and we can work forward to getting you a better number to look at that, traditionally, it's a call for service, we go.
Yeah, I think this is going to be, if we go this route, I think it's going to be very data driven. Last year it was a set fee. Now we have a sliding scale. So and in my area being a split district, there's a lot of discussion on both sides about the pros and cons of doing so. So I know there'll be more questions likely. So thank you for your time.